Today, let's review how to simplify negative bases with negative exponents. If we have negative 5 to the power of negative 2, only 5 is to the power of negative 2 because negative 5 is not enclosed in a parenthesis. So we can write it this way. Negative quantity 5 to the power of negative 2. Next, we are going to look for the reciprocal of 5 because its exponent is a negative. So copy the negative sign. And the reciprocal of 5 is 1 over 5. And the exponent is 2. So our answer is negative 1 over 5 squared, or negative 1 over 25. And if we have negative 4 to the power of negative 3, we can write it this way. Quantity negative 4 and quantity x to the power of negative 3. Next, we are going to find the reciprocal of x because its exponent is a negative. So we have negative 4 quantity 1 over x to the power of 3. Now, let us multiply. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, all over x to the power of 3. If we have quantity negative 5 to the power of negative 2, as you can see, both the negative sign and the base are enclosed in a parenthesis, which means both the negative sign and the base are to the power of negative 2. So the reciprocal of negative 5 is 1 over quantity negative 5 to the power of 2. As you can see, our base is a negative, but our exponent is a positive even number, which means our answer will be a positive. So 1 over negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And if we have quantity negative 4x to the power of negative 3, as you can see, both the negative sign and the base are enclosed in a parenthesis, which means both the negative sign and the base are to the power of negative 3. So our reciprocal of negative 4x is 1 over quantity negative 4x to the power of 3. And as you can see, our base is a negative, but our exponent is an odd number. So our answer will be a negative. So we have negative 1 over negative 4 to the power of 3 is 64. And x to the power of 3 is x to the power of 3. Let us expand and learn more about this through our examples. For our first example, we have negative 2 to the power of negative 4. As you can see, negative 2 is not enclosed in a parenthesis. So only 2 is to the power of negative 4. So we can rewrite it this way. Negative quantity 2 to the power of negative 4. Next, we are going to find the reciprocal of 2 because its exponent is a negative. So write the negative sign. We have 1 over 2 to the power of 4. Or negative 1 over 2 to the power of 4 is 16. Next, we have negative 12x to the power of negative 5. So we can rewrite it this way. Negative 12 and quantity x to the power of negative 5. Next, we are going to look for the reciprocal of x because its exponent is a negative. So we have negative 12 in quantity 1 over x to the power of 5. Now let us multiply. Negative 12 times 1 is negative 12 over x to the power of 5. For our next example, we have quantity negative 1/3 to the power of negative 2. As you can see, both the negative sign and the base are enclosed in a parenthesis. So both the negative and the base are to the power of negative 2. So let us find the reciprocal. We have quantity negative 3 over 1 to the power of 2. Let us now distribute. We have 3 squared, and 3 squared is 9. And 1 squared is 1. Our answer is positive because our exponent is a positive even number and our base is a negative. So 9 over 1 is equal to 9. Next we have quantity negative 5x over 3yz to the power of negative 3. Again, it is in a parenthesis. So both the negative sign and the base are to the power of negative 3. Our reciprocal is quantity negative 3yz all over 5x to the power of 3. Let us now distribute. As you can see, our exponent is a positive odd number and our base is a negative. So our answer will be a negative. So we have negative 3 to the power of 3 is 27. Y to the power of 3 is y to the power of 3. Z to the power of 3 is z to the power of 3 all over 5 to the power of 3 is 125. Then we have x to the power of 3, which is equal to x to the power of 3. For our last example, we have 4ab to the power of negative 2 all over negative 3c to the power of negative 2. First, we are going to rewrite this. We'll have 4 over negative 3, a, and quantity, the reciprocal of b is 1 over b. We're going to look for b's reciprocal because its exponent is negative. And our new exponent will be 2. And we have quantity. The reciprocal of denominator c to the power of negative 2 is c to the power of 2 all over 1. Let us now multiply. 4 times a times 1 times c squared is equal to 4ac squared all over negative 3 times b squared times 1 is negative 3b squared. That is all for today. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.